Roblox is one of the most well-known video games out there. I'm pretty sure most of you have already played it at least once. I know I have, considering that the account I use is almost a decade old. But the main point is that Roblox allows the community to create their own games. Because of that, there are many games. Some bad, some good, and some weird. But there are also the good ones, the ones that try something original or aim to be a remake. But what happens when you give Roblox creators who are Sonic fans the chance to make their own games? Today we're exploring the world of Sonic games in Roblox, where I will share my thoughts on several Roblox games. This game is like a mix of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Utopia. One thing I like right away is the title screen, which uses elements from the Sonic Mania intro. The arrows, shapes, moving patterns. In this game, there are few levels you can pick from. The tutorial mainly explains the basics of the game, and I really like its design. First you go through a section inspired by Sonic Mania intro, but also by the Japanese box art with different shapes. The tutorial changes a bit, and later on you move through Emerald Hill and Hilltop, Palm Pantry Tree, and so on. Sonic has few abilities. The classic spin dash, drop dash, homing attack, lightspeed dash, and even a bounce. At the start, I died immediately when I reached the first loop. For some reason, I expected it to be automated and that Sonic would run through it on its own. But I didn't manage to go through it on my first try. This actually shows why 3D Sonic games usually have automated loops. It's harder to run through them manually without slipping off if you're moving too fast. When you reach the end of the tutorial, you enter Green Hill Zone, but it's, nighttime, which is kinda unique. I really like how big this level is. It follows the original Green Hill layout with some changes to make it fit the 3D world. In some areas, you can notice these changes. It can be confusing at times, but still very fun when you can spin dash and skip certain parts of the level. After Green Hill, the next level is Relic Ruin. I'm not a big fan of this one. It's fun to jump around, but I got lost and didn't know what to do. There are simply too many ways to reach certain areas, which made it a bit confusing for me, but in general, the levels are fun. The animations are great, especially when doing a homing attack or running. Even the small animation Sonic does before a drop dash looks actually really great. I also really like the model they use for Sonic. Another nice detail I noticed, which comes from official Sonic games I believe, is that Sonic changes the position of his mouth depending on where the camera is facing. If the camera is looking from the right side, his mouth shows on that side. This game is actually quite great. I really like it. It can get confusing, but still, cool game in fact. So, Sonic Frontiers is not a perfect game, far from it, but it did change the direction of Sonic games and in a way brought Sonic back again. After Frontiers, we started getting more solid and even great Sonic games. Naturally, someone decided to try recreating Sonic Frontiers in Roblox, and as soon as I entered, I was surprised by how nice the game looks. Of course, it's still Roblox, but the visual details like the rain effect and the models, which seem ported or very well recreated, make the game look great. But let's be honest, the physics are really terrible. It's not unplayable, but the physics can't compare to the previous game I talked about, obviously. But the clip where I struggle with the spring trying to get onto a platform explains everything. For some reason, the game keeps my momentum before hitting the spring, and when I land on a platform, Sonic starts sliding. Even the homing attack can be unreliable at times. In this game, there's this cool detail. You can choose between soap shoes and Sonic's normal shoes, which is a nice detail in fact. Sonic in this game can boost, jump, double jump, stomp, and he has a move called Sonic Wind. I like how they recreated one of the tasks from the Frontiers using Sonic Wind, where you must hit the ball 3 times. Really cool, especially the animations. You can tell they actually tried to recreate that. Also, unique detail is when Sonic collects 100 rings, he gets the power boost from Frontiers. There's even a portal like in the original game that sends you to a recreated Frontiers level. Like I said, it's a solid recreation. The level feels empty because there are no badniks and such, but the only real issue is the strange physics. If they fix that, the game would have been really fun for running around and doing platforming. And since developers are already working on a version 2 of the game, many of the problems I mentioned will probably be fixed. So overall, I like the idea of huge ass Sonic Frontiers level that you can mess around and do tasks. So yeah, this game is solid. Except the physics, I hate the physics. Sonic Rerush. Now this game is incredible. Right away at the start, just amazing. The game takes inspiration from the Sonic Rush and the adventure games. You have 3 levels to choose from, the tutorial and 2 main levels where you play as Sonic or Shadow. Sonic can do classic moves from the adventure games like spin dash, bounce, but he can also do drop dash and air moves from the Rush games. The first level is Isolated Panic Zone, and it's great. You start by grinding on rails and you immediately feel the speed this game has. Actually so fast that you can accidentally kill yourself because how quick everything is actually. Throughout the first level, you move through different environments, from a metal ship to a jungle and more. It's nice and it's nicely made and it's quite refreshing to see in fact. The only problem I had was doing wall runs or loops where I had to manually adjust the camera and hope that I won't mess up something. And sometimes I do actually mess up. So yeah, but that may also be a skill issue on my part. Still, the level is fun. There are shortcuts, multiple paths, upper and lower routes, left or right, a lot of variety in fact. One problem is this one section where the game expects you to run down a slope, but on my first playthrough I didn't notice it. I thought I reached the end of the level. I think developers should make that part clearer because it's impossible to see that you're supposed to go down. Oh, but I love these models. They look incredible and they're custom made. The animations are also great, especially when Sonic runs. You can see those cool trails on his gloves and shoes, giving an even stronger sense of speed. They even added custom voice lines, which is, amazing. You can use Super Sonic if you collect 50 rings. I didn't notice anything extremely special about him besides being faster and of course invincible. With Shadow is taught in Boiled Armory Zone. He's similar to Sonic with few extra abilities. Shadow has Chaos Snap, Chaos Spears, and Chaos Boost. In my opinion, this level is even better than the first one. I love rail grinding, even though I'm pretty bad at it, but using Chaos Snap lets you pass through lasers, lava, and even use it as a type of double jump. I really like this stage, I cannot even express myself. This level actually has a lot of platforming and multiple routes. There are also some amazing cinematic moments like when Shadow runs up a vertical wall while lava rises behind him. Really brutal in my opinion. I would love to see this game fully finished or even made in another engine as a standalone project. It's honestly one of the best Sonic Roblox projects I ever played in fact. Sonic Robo Blast 2 is a fan game that has been in development for many years. The first version came out before I was even born, in fact. It's one of my favorite fan games ever, from the gameplay to the point that game actually supports mods. But someone actually decided to recreate SRB2 in Roblox, and here it is. I love how SRB2 works and looks, so even though this recreation is not perfect, far from it, as you can see from Sonic's movement and jumping, I'm still happy that someone tried to make something like this. I would love to see developer fix it up, polish it, and create few full levels. At least one. Please, come on, dude. I would like to see this, please. Because it looks really cool, and obviously, it can work in Roblox, in fact. It's a nice change from the usual Robo Sonic games, which mostly try to recreate classic Sonic physics, adventure physics, or unleashed physics. So even though there isn't much to say, if the developer sees this, I hope they expand at least the test level and add some new stuff. It would be awesome. Please, dude, come on. Now, you probably heard of this one, but I want to mention it because it's amazing. It gives me Super Smash Bros. Sonic vibes and even reminds me of old Flash animations, which I watched a lot as a kid. Sonic has a lot of moves here: drop dash, spin dash, double jump, combat, and you can even do combos. It's a bit of shame that you have to crouch first to spin dash like in the classic games, but it's fine. The Sonic model really gives me Super Smash Bros. Vibe. Like, I cannot even describe to you. Like, just look at it. And for some reason it even reminds me a bit of Sonic 06. I don't know why, maybe I'm wrong, but it's cool actually. When Sonic dies, he has cool death animations too, like it's funny, and he gets pissed off when he dies, so yeah, that's cool. I'm just amazed, I was amazed by Sonic's animation at the start of the level. The fact that you can do parkour-like jumps on stone pillars is also really cool. The test level has few issues with ring collision, but nothing major. I mean, after all, it's just a test, something that this dude wanted to show off, If you go behind the spawn area, there's a playground with different objects and models. From that alone, you can already see how impressive the moveset is. Even the trick system that Sonic uses is really cool. And there's this funny detail: Sonic can ride a bike, and if he goes fast enough, he just flies off it. It made me laugh. And honestly, it wouldn't even ruin the game if they included it in real levels. Like imagine just, riding the bike. Imagine just riding a bike as Sonic and jump and then just flying off and just gaining enormous amount of speed. Come on, that would be cool. These were some Sonic games that are made in Roblox that I think are great. They're far from perfect, but they deserve some attention. I avoided mentioning games like Speed Simulator or Classic Sonic Simulator. These are some of the newer games that I can safely say are great, uniquely, and do something different. Some of these games struggle, they don't have enough automatization, which isn't always a bad thing, but in my opinion it could help to avoid problems with loops and wall runs, which I did in Sonic Rerush, but that's not a big issue. That's at least my opinion. Anyways, we reached the end of the video. If you want, you can support me, you can subscribe, leave a like, join my Discord server, which I'm still working on while recording this, or you can support the channel with donations using the links in the description. So yeah, thank you for your support. I hope you did enjoy this video. In the next one, I'll probably talk about something else. So yeah, bye!